What's up, y'all? It's Chris. We're talking about this weekend's UFC 114, Rampage versus Rashad. Really looking forward to this event, mostly for the main event. Undercard, the one thing I noticed about the undercard is a lot of former Ultimate Fighter winners on this thing, man. But that's not a bad thing. It's just an observation I noted. Anyways, real quick, gonna go over the undercard. Nothing that really stands out too much, in all honesty. First up, we got Jesse Forbes against Ryan Jensen. Go with Jensen to win because he's more well-rounded. Aaron Riley against Joe Brammer. Got to go with Brammer. Riley, way too much mileage on him at this time. Good fighter, but it's been way too many wars. Melvin Guillard against Waylon Lowe. I've said before, I'm a fan of Melvin Guillard. Was originally supposed to face Thiago Tavares here, but unfortunately, Thiago got hurt. Maybe not unfortunately, stylistic, I don't know if that's the best matchup for Melvin. I think I have a more easy time here. And should get the win here, and since I'm a fan, obviously I want to see the guy win, so Melvin Guillard by TKO. Next up, we got Luis Arthur Kane against Cyril Diabate. This is a fight I hope we get to see. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Hopefully it'll make the televised. Hopefully it'll end early and we'll get a chance to see it. Both guys primarily like to stand and trade. Kane's coming off that loss to Lil Nogueira. Cyril, first time in the UFC, but he's been around for a while. Good stand-up fighter, really good kickboxer, Muay Thai. Gave Shogun a run for his money on the feet back in Pride back in the day, but since then he's been fighting on the smaller circuit. Did have a fight on I believe he had a fight on Elite XC, one of those challengers cards or something, but kind of just been toiling around in the minor leagues. This is his opportunity. If this fight stays standing, it's probably one of the better fights of the night, and I think it will slightly favor Cyril. I think he's a better stand-up fighter, so I'm going to go with Cyril the Snake Diabate by TKO. Efren Escudero against Dan Lozon. Honestly, I was going to favor Efren regardless, but last week it came out that Dan Lozon, he trains with his brother Joe. His brother Joe said he's not going to corner him for the fight. His camp says Dan hasn't been training hard. So, the fact that Dan's not going to have his normal corner, normal trainers with them, and the word is that, I guess from Joe, he hasn't been training hard. Got to favor Efren Escudero here. So I'm going to go with Efren to win this fight by TKO. Amir Sadal against Dong Hyun Kim. Amir looked good in his last fight against Brad Blackburn. Dong Hyun Kim, I think the guy's still undefeated, but I've just never been overly impressed. Not to say he's not a good fighter, but he's just never done anything that really stood out to me personally. So Sadal is looking to develop nicely lately. After all those injuries early on. And I've said it time and time again, I think the UFC likes to favorably match their former Ultimate Fighter winners, and we have a lot of them on this card. I think that's the case here. So, although Kim has more experience and, still undefeated, I'm a favor of Amir Sadal to win this fight by decision. Diego Sanchez against John Hathaway. Diego making his return to the cage and getting his ass handed to him by BJ Penn. That was at lightweight. Diego's returning to welterweight. I don't know what the decision behind that is, but he's always looked pretty good at welterweight in my opinion, even in losses, except for the Josh Koscheck. Hathaway, 3-0 in the UFC, but I don't believe he's faced the level of a fighter that Diego Sanchez is. As long as Diego doesn't have too many, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but as long as Diego's fully recovered from the loss to BJ Penn, I just think he's the better fighter. So, I think Hathaway can give him a run for his money, though. So, I see going to a decision, but going to favor Diego Sanchez by decision. Todd Duffy against Mike Russo. Todd Duffy hasn't fought in a long time. 1-0 in the UFC. Had that big knockout win. Supposedly quickest knockout ever in the UFC. 7 seconds. But unfortunately got injured. He's been off on the shelf for a while. Taking on Mike Russo, solid fighter, good wrestler, but I think Duffy's just a bigger, stronger fighter here, and he's got the bigger upside. So look for Todd Duffy. As long as he doesn't have too much ring rust, look for Todd Duffy to win this fight by TKO. I'll say first round. Next up, we got Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, Little Nog taking on Jason Brills. Unfortunately, was supposed to fight Forrest Griffin, but Forrest got hurt. Brills, not the best replacement, in all honesty, no disrespect to him, but there weren't really any other top lightweights available. I was really looking forward to that Nogueira-Forrest fight. I think Nogueira should be able to handle Brills pretty easily, in all honesty. I see either a TKO or submission sometime in the second round. Co-main event, the new co-main event, now that Forrest fell off the card. Michael Bisping against Jan Miller. Should be a competitive fight. Bisping, yet another former Ultimate Fighter winner on the card. And like I said before, I think the UFC likes to match these guys favorably. Bisping's coming off that loss to Vanderlei. I think Miller's the better wrestler. And I think, he's got solid submissions, decent stand-up, but I don't know. I think this is a pretty good matchup for Michael Bisping. I think he can get the win here. I think it'll be close, though. I think it'll be a competitive fight. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Bisping, by no means, but I just think he's the better, more rounded fighter. And I think he's going to win this fight by decision. On to the main event. Quentin Rampage Jackson taking on Sugar Rashad Evans. This is a fight I've been looking forward to ever since Rashad stepped to Rampage after he beat Keith Jardine last year. They were on the Ultimate Fighter together as coaches. Was really looking forward to the fight. Was originally supposed to happen last December, but as we all know, Rampage went to the A-Team movie. It's going to happen now. Better late than never, I always say. Great build-up to the fight. Aside from the Ultimate Fighter Season 10, which was great, hype for the fight, we have UFC Primetime, which has, it's probably been the best UFC Primetime in my opinion by far. These guys have genuine animosity for each other. You could tell. This isn't one of those where they're just building a fight, and after the fight, we were just talking, trying to build a fight. No, these guys genuinely dislike one another. You could see that in the Primetime. You can definitely see it in the conference calls. They've had, particularly last week's. And they're finally going to get a chance to settle the score and see who's the better man. I think that Rampage said that, Rashad, you're an athlete, but I'm a fighter. And I do believe that. But, the thing is, I think Rashad takes his job more seriously than Rampage. Rampage fights because it pays him. He doesn't love fighting. Rashad is a guy that's really, a disciplined fighter. He's a full-time fighter. Always stays in the gym. Granted, he has things going on outside the ring as well, or outside the cage as well. Working on MMA Live, doing some acting bits here and there, but I just think he's more dedicated as a fighter. No disrespect to Rampage. I'm a big Rampage fan. I have been for the longest, since I first saw him fight, as a matter of fact. Years ago, back in 2002. But, I don't think he's as dedicated and as disciplined of a fighter as Rashad is. That said, I think stylistically this is a bad matchup for Rashad. Rashad may be a better wrestler, but I don't think he's going to be able to get Rampage down. And if he does, because Rampage, as we've seen, it's hard to get down, even by better wrestlers. And even if he does, I don't think he's going to be able to hold Rampage down or do much damage. On the feet, Rashad's quicker. Rashad's got better kicks. We've seen Rampage is susceptible to leg kicks. But Rampage is the better boxer technique-wise. Got the more power in his hands. And he's got the better chin. So, I think Rashad's faster. I think he can keep at a distance with the kicks and the punches. Work his game. But I think eventually, they're going to get into exchanges at times in this fight. And that's where Rampage is going to be at his, the fight's going to be his advantage. Or anytime they're in close or against the cage. As long as Rampage doesn't have way too much ring rust, he's been out for over a year. And as long as he's in good shape, which it looks to be based on the Ultimate Fighter and, Primetime and all reports that are being indicated, looks to be in good shape. I just think stylistically this fight favors Rampage. I think it's going to be a stand-up fight for the most part. And I think that Rampage is going to hurt Rashad somewhere in there. Rashad did get hurt in his last fight by Thiago Silva in the third round. I think Rashad's going to be able to hurt Rampage is going to be able to hurt Rashad and either finish him off or just have Rashad in retreat mode the rest of the fight. So I'm going to go with Rampage Jackson win this fight by TKO. I'll say third round. But it could very well go to decision. But either way, I think Rampage is going to win this fight. Once again, really looking forward to it, though. Looking forward to the beef finally getting settled. So let me know what you guys think. Who you think's going to win this fight and why? And who do you want to win? Do you have a preference on who you want to win? I don't really have a preference on who I want to win, even though I'm a Rampage fan. I don't really mind who wins. I just want to see a good fight. I hope it lives up to the anticipation of the build-up. Because because the rest of the card ain't too stellar in my opinion. So, anyways, I'll be back on Sunday, maybe Saturday night, talk about these fights afterwards. Until then, be sure and check out the websites, TheRubyBloodFightShow.com, LeaveItInTheRing.com, my Twitter if you're interested. Links in the information as always. I'm in the process of writing a more in-depth piece on Rampage Rashad, so be sure and check that out. Till I'm back to talk about these fights, enjoy them. I know I will. But until then, y'all, I'm out.